It's 8:34, BBC Radio Kent Breakfast with Steve and Kate. Now, borrowers needing small sums to tide them over often end up breaching their overdraft limits and then are being charged more than they would be by payday lenders. That's the conclusion of the latest report from the consumer watchdog, which is now urging a crackdown on the charge that can be incurred when someone goes into unauthorised overdraft. Well, joining us now with the latest on this is Jonathan Davis, economist even, and wealth advisor. Good morning, Jonathan.
Morning, Kate.
I think lots of people will be surprised the banks are charging so much.
Well, they might be surprised, but, the banks are in business. They're there to make a profit. They're not a charity.
And can people avoid these fees?
Well, the issue is for the very high interest rates, the issue is if they then go beyond the authorised overdraft, the one that they've agreed to borrow from the bank. If they then borrow more unauthorised, then that's what we're talking about. And of course, first of all, don't borrow more than you've agreed to. And secondly, I actually believe that no one, and I mean no one in the UK, needs to be in short-term debt. If you do in the very short term, if a large lump sum is needed all of a sudden, fine, take the authorised overdraft, but do then 2 or 3 months of extreme frugality, get out of debt, stay in balance and stay that way. It'll be good for your health and your well-being.
Well, Ken has texted us this morning saying, why is spending money you don't have, i.e. unauthorised overdrafts, any different to stealing? What would you say to that?
It is different to stealing. It is reckless, however, and it's I'm going to be really brutal. It's quite childish. Stay within your limits. Stay within your financial wherewithal. If you can't, then clearly that is childish action. So what you need to do is frugality, tighten your belt. If you haven't got it, tough. It's no one else's responsibility to keep you in financial well-being, only your responsibility.
If you do get caught out, Jonathan, what would you advise?
Well, ultimately, as C.V. Myers, the economist in 70 says, every single penny of debt has to be repaid, either by the lender or the borrower. So if you borrowed money, you have to repay it. And if that means that you give up smoking, you give up satellite TV, you give up the expensive phone, you give up going to the pub, tough. You spent the money, live with it, get back into balance and move on from there.
Jonathan, thanks for your time. That's Jonathan Davis, economist and wealth advisor.